Everyone told me I was being stupid. My coworker literally laughed and said, "Bro, you're gonna crawl back to Windows within a week." My friend said I'd regret it. Even I had doubts. Middle of the night, staring at my screen and thinking, what if this breaks everything? But I did it anyway. I wiped Windows, not dual boot, not a test drive, not a let me keep a backup just in case setup. I deleted it. And for 6 months straight, Linux Mint 22 was the only thing standing between me and a completely dead machine. This isn't a video about Linux being perfect. This isn't me trying to sell you some open source fantasy. This is what actually happened. The good, the ugly, and the stuff nobody talks about because they're too busy making Linux look cool for their tech bro audience. Let me start from the beginning. I picked Linux Mint on purpose, and not because it's the cool choice. Arch users can calm down. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I didn't want to spend my mornings fighting my own operating system just to feel like a hacker. I wanted something that would actually work. Mint has a reputation, stable, calm, doesn't randomly explode on you. The Cinnamon desktop looks like something a normal human being designed. So yeah, that was my choice. No shame in it. When I booted the system for the very first time, I honestly expected something to go wrong. I thought there might be a driver problem. The screen resolution might be broken, the sound might not work, or I might run into one of those classic situations people often talk about when someone tries Linux for the first time, and everything starts falling apart. But none of that happened. The installer guided me through the entire setup process, step by step. All the necessary drivers were installed automatically. The Wi-Fi connected without any trouble, Bluetooth worked perfectly. Sound came out of the speakers exactly the way it was supposed to. I even sat there for a moment, just staring at the screen and almost waiting for something to break. But nothing broke. That's when I realized that my whole idea of what Linux was had been built on stories from 2009. The first few weeks were almost boring. Browser worked. YouTube worked. Everything I did online felt identical to Windows. Chrome, Firefox, Brave. Pick one, use it. Forget you even switched operating systems. If you spend most of your day inside a browser tab, Linux Mint won't even register as a change. That's not a small thing. That's the entire digital life of most people on the planet. File management was just as straightforward. The home folder, documents, and downloads all started to feel natural within a few days. Drag and drop worked exactly the way you'd expect. When I plugged in a USB drive, it appeared instantly. External hard drives, network folders, everything showed up and worked without any extra effort, no confusion, no complicated setup. It simply did what it was supposed to do. The moment I truly began appreciating Linux Mint was when I started using the software manager. It wasn't something I was merely tolerating anymore. I actually liked it. There were no ads, no sign in to continue prompts, no requirement for a Microsoft account or Apple ID, and no hidden subscription offers disguised as free trials. You simply search for the software you need, click install, and it installs. That's it. For everyday productivity, the system covered all my needs. LibreOffice handled documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. While it wasn't identical to Microsoft Word, it was capable enough that after a couple of weeks, the difference stopped mattering. PDFs opened without issues, videos played without the need to manually search for codecs, and both screen recording and editing worked smoothly. In short, all the tasks an average user expects from a computer were fully supported. Then I hit my first real obstacle: hardware software. This is where Linux shows its limits without sugarcoating it. My printer, which came with a full utility app, stopped working. My keyboard's RGB lighting controller didn't work anymore. Even a firmware update tool for one of my devices was Windows only. These things simply don't exist for Linux. Sometimes you can find an open source alternative that works okay. Sometimes there isn't one at all. You have to either accept it or figure out a workaround. That's just how it goes. Gaming was its own chapter in this experience. I do play games, not competitively, but regularly enough to care about how they perform. Going into this, I honestly expected Linux gaming to be a complete disaster, but surprisingly, it wasn't. Steam's Proton compatibility layer has completely changed the landscape. It allows many games that were originally built for Windows to run on Linux with little to no effort. I launched several titles that I fully expected to fail, and they just worked. Smooth gameplay, quick load times, and in some cases, even better frame rates than I remembered getting on Windows. My controllers connected instantly without any extra configuration. But here's where I have to be honest with you, because a lot of Linux gaming videos won't be. If you play competitive multiplayer titles, the ones with aggressive anti-cheat systems, you are going to have a bad time. Some of them just refuse to run on Linux, and when those games break, fixing them isn't a 30-second Google search. It's forum threads, terminal commands, and sometimes no solution at all. For single player, for indie games, and for most of Steam's library, Linux Mint was absolutely fine. For competitive multiplayer, Windows still owns that space. That's not my opinion. That's just where things right now. 6 months in, the stability surprised me most. Linux Mint was boring in the best possible way. My system looked the same on day 180 as it did on day 1. No random reboots. No... Your PC will restart tonight to install updates notification showing up when I'm in the middle of something important. No surprise changes to my taskbar. No new features I didn't ask for appearing out of nowhere. When I closed my laptop and came back the next day, everything was exactly where I left it. I had fewer system-level problems in 6 months of Linux than I typically see in 2 months of Windows. That's not a flex. That's just what happened. Linux isn't invincible. When things break, they can feel more intimidating. Error messages don't hold your hand. Solutions usually live in forums, not official support pages. You have to read, you have to think, you have to be willing to understand what you're actually doing to your system. Linux rewards people who are curious. It has no patience for people who click blindly and hope for the best. Eventually, I started using the terminal too. Not every day, but from time to time. On Linux, opening the terminal doesn't feel like a problem or a last resort. It's simply a normal way to get certain things done. You type a command, the system responds, and you know exactly what changed. And honestly, once I stopped being intimidated by it, I actually began to enjoy using it. Here's the thing that nobody puts in their Linux videos, though. The real shift isn't about features or benchmarks or software lists. It's about how you feel when you sit down at your computer. On Windows, I always felt like a tenant, like I was borrowing someone else's machine, and Microsoft could come in and rearrange the furniture anytime they wanted. Ads in the start menu, telemetry running in the background, updates that install themselves whether you like it or not, settings that reset after major updates. You get used to it because you don't know anything different, and then you switch and you realize how much of that you were just tolerating. On Linux Mint, the computer felt like mine again. Would I recommend it to everyone? No, I'm not going to do that. If your job runs on specific Windows-only software, making the full switch isn't realistic yet. If the idea of troubleshooting anything makes you want to throw your laptop out a window, stick with what you know. Linux isn't a magic fix, it's a trade. You give up some convenience, some compatibility, some of that guarantee that everything will just exist for Windows, and in return, you get control, stability, and a system that doesn't treat you like a product. Did I miss Windows? Less than I expected. I missed a couple of apps. I missed that automatic guarantee that any random piece of software would just install and run. That's real, and I won't pretend it isn't. But I didn't miss the ads. I didn't miss the forced updates. I didn't miss feeling like my own computer was working against me. Linux Mint didn't feel like settling. It felt like finally owning the thing I paid for. And after 6 months, that feeling didn't go away. 6 months ago, people told me I'd crawl back to Windows in a week, and 6 months later, I'm still here. Linux Mint isn't perfect, but it reminded me of something I'd forgotten. A computer should belong to the person using it, not the company that made it. And if you enjoy honest tech stories like this one, hit like, subscribe, and stick around, because there's a lot more to uncover. Because sometimes the biggest upgrade isn't a new computer, it's taking control of the one you already have.